Okay, well it's not Sunday fun day, but it is Tuesday, and we got a new project in the shop, 65 T-Bird. There we go. With a long list of stuff that needs to be done. Nothing huge, we're not doing paint or body, but just small stuff like dry shaft has to go in, transmission has to be hooked up, cooling lines have to be hooked up, I don't know, a couple patches in the floor. It's just a list. It's a list. It's you know, there's a few days there for sure. Like, I shouldn't say a few days, but a good week, you know. There's probably a good, I don't know, I gotta look at the list. There's guaranteed a good 5 days, maybe even 10 for all I know, but yeah, neat little car. You're all familiar with the 65 T-Birds. Those are the ones that got the swing out steering column. And what I mean by that is, see it swing, so you can swing it off to the side and step out of the car. Kind of cool. I always like these old T-Birds. They're neat and cool, but I personally would never want one. And why? They have tons of wiring in them. And I tell you, it just doesn't, I don't know. I don't want to deal with all them wiring issues. I don't like wiring. Kathy, if you're out there watching your truck, so we're still working away. As you can see, we got your, there you go. You got a nice little small block Chevy in there. The Turbo 350 sitting in place. There it is. All nicely sitting there. Pretty cool. So now we'll be back onto welding this up. You know, this truck, there's a little bit of a budget on it. She has a budget on it. I'm trying my hardest to stay with it. Might end up going over a bit. You always do. I mean, every time I give a quote, I tell everyone my quotes are within 25%. So, you know, it is what it is, and you know, as you go along, you find things and you just you take it from there. And that's why I do these videos and I post pictures up so customers can see that, hey, I thought I was only repairing an outer panel, but then it becomes a middle panel, then an inner panel, and there's this panel, and it just adds up and up. So whatever, it is what it is. But as long as everyone's happy, we're happy. So, but yeah, that's done, looking good. So I did say at the beginning of the video, so it's not oh. And the Ford, little 62, I started to do the old spray under it. So you can see here's what it did look like. All right. That's all wire wheeled and cleaned up the best we can get it. If you want something perfect, you know, honestly, we both know, we all know, not both of us, we all know that it should be blasted. This gentleman didn't want to go to that extreme, so that's okay. We cleaned it up best we could, wire wheeled, did this, did that, you know, whatever, got into the brushes, put some degreaser cleaners on it, and then we spray it like this. Now you're probably asking, when you spray it like that, will there be a problem with that coming back through? No, there won't be. It's sealed up. This is a two-part product we use. It's sealed up good. It's not going to come back. And you know, you have to remember that. So anyway, where I'm going here is I got this done. I still got to do all that. Still got to do all that. But you have to remember that a lot of this stuff, it isn't going to rust like it did in the day, because most people nowadays, when they restore a car or build a car, even if they don't do it 100% proper, they never drive them in the rain anymore. And they all keep them in a carport or a garage. They just do. So, you know, I remember back in the day when I was a young guy, I didn't have no money. All I could afford was Chevy 2s. I could buy 62 to 67 Novas back then for two-door hardtops, everything, for like $500 turnkey, drive it home. And they were rusted in the typical spots around the headlights, you know, down on the rear quarters. They all go there. And when I first started out, I didn't have tons of money. I didn't. And, you know, I'm not afraid to say it. You know, I'd get in there fiberglass cloth or Bondo, and I'd Bondo it up. But it was my daily driver. And that sucker, I'd give it a paint job. I didn't paint it, but we used to send it down to Mako, believe it or not. And they were like, I think, $2.99 back then. And I'd do all the body work myself and then send it to Mako. And, you know, it was $2.99 for the paint job. And it was my daily driver. You know, I was taking it to school or work or wherever I was going all year round. Back then, you know, like I said, I was Bondoing it up, and I would get maybe 2 years out of it, 3 if I was lucky, and it'd start bubbling. Bondo is like water, absorbs water, bubbles. Now where I'm going with this is I've seen guys today, some people that just can't afford to do anything, and they're at home themselves, and they've Bondoed it up. And some guy will come along and say, that's wrong, and yeah, it's wrong, but you don't have to say to the guy it's wrong. It's what he can afford, it's all he can do. But he's Bondoed it up, and he's done what he can with it, and you know what? Doesn't really drive it in the rain, doesn't really wash it all that much, because they got all this spray detailer nowadays. And I've seen these cars that are Bondoed up that used to last, like I just said, 2 or 3 years. I've seen them hold out for a good 10 years or more. Because I know guys that got cars like that right now. I won't name them because I don't want to upset them with saying, hey, you know, this is so-and-so's car and it's all bondoed up, but it's serious. Like, we just don't use them like we used to. So I guess what I'm getting at is sometimes if you don't do a 100% proper job, it's still going to last longer today than it did then, because you just keep it in the garage and you don't drive it in the rain. I'm the opposite. I drive all my shit in the weather, right? So I have to make sure I kind of weld everything up good and solid, because my shit's out there in the weather, and that's that. And but anyway, so Fun Day Sunday is coming soon, but I made Tuesday afternoon Fun Day Sunday. Let's look. So I'm kind of playing with the 55. Just playing. You know, I've done absolutely nothing with this car since I brought it home. I think I've opened the door on it like twice. I looked in it, and she's rough. I'm not denying that. I don't hide nothing. If anyone could slow these videos down and see that, hey, there's a fucking street sign down in there for a floor. Like, look at the floor. She's rough. But you can fix it. You can fix anything. It's time, it's patience, and it's money. If you got to pay someone and buy the parts. Luckily for me, I used to buy the parts. I don't have to pay no one, because I can do all this. I mean, you know, I built a lot of cars in my years. I probably built, I'm not trying to be an asshole here, but I probably built more cars than some people out here watching have had lunches in their life. And that's true. And that's not being a dick. It's just true. I've been doing cars since I was, you know, forever. So anyway, what I'm doing here today is I'm cleaning her out. I'm getting all the old grime out of her, because this isn't helping any, right? The water comes in here, winter comes. Cleaning her up. And I've got a few parts and pieces that I may start welding into it and try and make something out of it. Now, I do not plan on making this a high dollar car. This is going to be a car that's going to go back in flat black, big, raunchy, big block in it, loud, do burnouts with it, have fun with it. That's it. It's not getting new glass. The heater, screw the heater. I don't need it. Out it comes. The radio, screw the radio. I don't need it. Out it goes. The windshield wipers, screw the windshield wipers. Out. The inner fenders, get rid of those, man. I'm going to run fender well headers. This chrome around the front and the back window, it's coming off. I'm just going to, if I continue with this car, I'm just going to put the plain black rubbers in it. Don't need the chrome. Don't have time to polish it. This isn't that car. Don't even give a shit if there's a back seat in it. Front seat, let's go. No door panels, no headliner, none of that. Let's rock and roll. So you can see it's all been the typical tail pan. They all rust out there. There's a new one right there. There's a rocker. I've got a few other parts and pieces for it. So I'm going to start piecing a little bit of it together here and there. This is not going to become the fall project. This is going to be something where when I'm bored or I'm out of money on my other projects and I'm looking for something to do, I'm going to come out here, dig around through all my shit that you guys have seen in the past, hidden in all my shops and parts, all my parts and pieces, and I'm going to play with this. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to chunk this together with what I can. Even the engine is just going to be a used big block in there. Used big block, used tranny, all that. The only thing we'll make sure we're safe on is we'll make sure we put good steering in it and good brakes in it. Always do not mess around with that shit. You got to be safe that way. But I don't care if the motor maybe smokes a bit or knocks a bit. I don't care. This is going to be a fun throw it together. I did name her at one time. I named her Bitchy Bertha. So you guys tell me if you like that name, Bitchy Bertha. I know some of you are going to be like, I wouldn't lose that paint job down the side. Well, unfortunately, you got to lose that paint job. It's almost all gone, and it's just, the car needs to be stripped. It just needs to be stripped. I've got good fenders. I've got a good hood. I've got 2 good doors. So I've already got half the battle over with. These fenders are come off. Look at the Bondo in them. Look at that. Fender will come off of there. It's all bondoed up. Look, it's beat to shit. I'm just going to take it, in the scrap bin it goes. I'm going to waste my time with it. You know, so there we are. I've got a better grill for it. I got a front bumper. I got lots of stuff. It's cool. It's a 2-door post. It's got BC title. And hey, we're going to have some fun with it. So that being said, well, it was a work day a bit this afternoon. And now it's, I don't know, 4:35 and, well, we're playing with Bitchy Bertha. Tell me if you like that name. If you don't like that name, give me some names I should call her. Okay, guys. See you later.